Hello, everyone. Meghan blows a gasket. Harry's stupidity sees her erupt. Specifically, this is due to the unfavorable press that she is currently experiencing as a result of her just completed tour with Colombia, and she is the only one to blame for this. Is that the case? To put it another way, she, reportedly, and according to a reliable source, as always, we have to add allegedly, but you know who I mean? Hugh Sussex as well. The most important thing is that, as you can see, she considers the question, why on earth did you decide to ban the British media? From her perspective, due to the fact that they are going to write about it anyhow. In addition, this is Meghan's approach to coping with the unfavorable news that she receives. It is clear that Harry is quite sullen and sulky, and he does not like to communicate with them. He is also pretty impolite to the reporters. Meghan paints on a rictus green, looking a little bit like the man from Wallace and Gromit, and then she simply comes out and smiles throughout the entire thing, hoping that you won't get a terrible photo, a mask slip, or whatever these youngsters want to call it nowadays. Furthermore, it is obvious that she is unable to compose bad things. She has high aspirations, and those dreams are primarily optimistic, that she will be able to write about her fashion, her attitude, her speech, and the soap opera speech. I'm sure you're familiar with the one I describe. It's always wonderful things, isn't it? Yes, well, you know, regardless of the circumstances, isn't it? Okay, no need to say more. I choose to break up and get divorced. Anyone who agrees with me, please comment number 1. On the contrary, anyone who disagrees with Harry and Meghan getting divorced, please comment number 2. Now, as we are moving forward, it appears that she becomes quite enraged by the fact that Harry simply takes it upon himself to say, no, we don't want the media. We'll control our own. In particular, she is now attempting to launch herself on the world stage through a cooking show. And of course, the American Riviera shambles, which is that if you do something like that, and if you ban them, then you have no chance of getting any favorable media. She has discovered this new information once more, and as I have mentioned, this has resulted in an explosive fight. It doesn't matter to him. He's not actually selling anything. He's a former king, and this is how he thinks about himself. It has already been brought to his attention that he hopes his family will accompany him, and he is confident that he is acting in the appropriate manner. Meghan, in her own unique brand of sanity, is aware that you require the media more than you ever have before, and she believes that this will eventually lead to the collapse of her business. That, of course, is in addition to the other falsehoods that have been directed against her. In the realm of Montecito, there is never a happy bunny, regardless of the circumstances. Do you feel the same way? So sick and tired of Meghan blowing yet another gasket and Harry's perpetually miserable face. Those two need to understand no one has sympathy for their constant drama. How fitting. Who can stand it forever? Even a fool would want to find a way to escape. Meghan still doesn't seem to realize how far she's gone. If Harry doesn't wake up soon, he really will lose everything. He still has some supporters, a few friends who seem to be waiting it out, and of course, his father still loves him. I think it was from the very beginning of their relationship. He hated his family, and she did hence their revenge. Sick and tired of them both. Can't think of a single good thing they did. And now it's from bad to worse. However, she should thank goodness for Harold's stupidity. It led to his marrying her. A smarter guy would have seen behind her act. Vice President of Colombia is claiming now Harry and Meghan paid for that trip. She is either covering the awful expense, or she charged them for the trip. And they weren't expecting that. I think the Vice President is getting back at them. And if we are right, the Vice President played a great hand. She knows Harry and Meghan cannot complain. The Vice President said that the Sussex visit was to promote tourism to Colombia. What an embarrassment for them, especially Harry going from prince to influencer. Meghan and her soap speech is as dull as dishwater after hearing about it about 100 times. I know she is a pathological liar, but can she still tell that story when she knows people know it's a lie? She tells it like she saved women all over the world from oppression. Clearly, they are their own bad press. Fatigue from hearing their voices and seeing their faces is palpable. Truly, they are the biggest yawn on the planet. Somebody please just turn off their cameras and microphones. Because when you do, they will dry up and blow away. I think it doesn't matter what it is. Harry's wife is never happy. Everything bothers her or offends her, or is not correct. Can you imagine? I couldn't live like that. Does Markle think that she is only going to get positive press? That is the price one pays for a celebrity. If she can't take it, perhaps she needs to scale back on the 24/7 PR and not encourage her husband to sue the media. Well, the dark day finally comes for the narcissist. The moment a disagreement begins to escalate in a marriage, it is quite challenging, isn't it? This is because all of a sudden, What was once a romantic relationship, the kind of stuff that occurred when you were initially dating. In fact, I'm still puzzled as to what their 2 trips have actually achieved. If I were to guess, they are even more detested by the majority of the UK and, now, citizens from another 2 countries. Even the cost details of their security while on tour have been released, leading to the realization that the wasted. The tours achieved nothing and could have been spent with more benefit on the lower economic classes. Perhaps the fool me once but don't fool me twice is now appropriate and no more. Countries will step forward to offer the grifters another faux royal tour, sick-free, all expenses paid, holiday. Truly, I hope so. And I'll give you odds that King Charles III holds the same view. Maybe Harry realizes that it will make no difference. Nobody will buy anything from Meghan or can say that I thought she didn't care whether she gets negative press as long as the name is out there. So another untruth to add to the thousands. She's always having a meltdown of some kind and he hates the media. Clearly, they use the media constantly. His complaining seems phony, looking at them from the outside. You can see he's very unhappy these days. I'm sure they're fighting, as it's not going her way. From what I see, it's not going his way either. Bliss. Marriage is a wonderful thing. Cheers. When isn't Harry's wife angry, blowing a gasket, and found sobbing on the floor due to some supposed slight? All dramas are brought on by themselves. The most boring, blonde, beige couple in the world. So sick and tired of Meghan. She spends most of her time crying, complaining, throwing fits, and acting like a foolish person in the eyes of the world, but never any self-reflection, although Harry still has a lot of contradictions. Let me tell you, if Harry really believes that the UK is at rock bottom, why does he want to move back? Harry thought that Markle was genuinely in need of protection from the press because she wasn't truthful with him. No wonder he appears bewildered. He can't keep up with her manipulating antics. Yes, Harry has been awful. There were pet names, weren't there? Are you aware of what I am referring to? Young ladies and gentlemen, all of a sudden, there are disagreements coming up. Moreover, when you take into consideration the fact that you now have these 2 individuals who are attempting to dictate their own story to the world, you realize that they are doing so. Not only do they not have the protection, but they have also walked away from all of that. The difference between the awfulness of the 2 of them is that Harry simply blurts out his anger, whereas Markle is rat cunning and manipulative in her approach. So much so that her husband never fully knows what she is about. Am I right about my evaluation? Make sure to share your thoughts and ideas by leaving a comment below. The fact that you saw my video is something that I am really grateful for. I would be quite appreciative if you could demonstrate your enthusiasm for my channel by liking it, sharing it, and subscribing to it. We will meet up once more. I am not referring to security. Rather, I am referring to the protection of the monarchy, which includes the people who are in their immediate vicinity. It would have been more accurate to say that this is a smart move and that we are going to put you in contact with this individual. When all of a sudden, you find yourself interacting with people who are of a lower quality than you typically would have bothered to interact with. But according to a very well-placed source, which was a crucial point, what you actually need is the one strong instrument. Harry, however, let that just drift away from him. The fact that Meghan Markle was reportedly less than happy, as stated by that source, resulted in yet another disagreement that took place behind the scenes. Having said that, when you really stop and think about it, I don't find this to be all that unexpected at all, mostly due to the fact that we recently witnessed Harry over here on an ITV program, when he went on and on and on about how vicious the British press was. The event took place a great number of years ago, and he was present alongside Hugh Grant, Charlotte Church, and Paul Gascoigne, all of whom were essentially stating that their lives had been impacted by hacking and other related issues. And, as I have already expressed to you, my most sincere condolences. But as Prince William discovered, there are times when it is best to draw a line, move on, and concentrate life on the most important things. Just take a moment to reflect on the positive aspects of your life at the moment. It would appear that Harry is unable to accomplish this. On the other hand, you see the most significant problem at hand is that Meghan is, once again, utterly enraged, dripping with froth and wrath.